So I am very, very intrigued by this. I almost every day I do something called creative research, and what that is I spend time just learning new things creative about in the creative realm, whether it be watching things on YouTube, whether it be reading things, whether it be doing whatever, watching, just trying to. The more that I put into my creative brain, the more that I can put out, and I've done that a bunch of different times, like watching different Elvis videos, watching different, Bob Dylan videos, watching Beatles things, watching, more recent artists, whatever the case might be. But I'm really surprised I've never actually heard of the Milton Berle show. And I have a feeling people in the comments will be like, oh, how could you never? I don't know. I've only personally ever heard of the Ed Sullivan show, like from that time period. That's what I knew about, especially because like Bob Dylan played on the Sullivan Show. Like, I know that Elvis played. Like, I know that the Beatles. I just maybe it was more popular. Maybe because I know, for example, right now we have Tonight with Fallon. We have with all of them. Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy, the other Jimmy that I'm drawing a blank on at the moment. I'm having a brain fart. But Conan and the Today Show, like the Daily Show. Like it's like 10, 12. There's James Corden. There's 10 or 12 different late night TV show hosts, and obviously I'm assuming it was the same back then. I don't know. I'm just surprised. And what's interesting about that is I knew that there was this story of Elvis that he'd gone on TV, and it was so provocative for the time that they only showed half of his body, his upper torso. And I learned in my most recent video, actually, that I posted about Elvis when I watched the Hound Dog performance on the Ed Sullivan Show, that it's actually because of this video from the Milton Berle Show in June 5th, 1956. That is the case, that he had, I guess, been so provocative on this show that every station after the fact said, hey, you're only filming from above here, like it just kind of that's what you're seeing in me right now, which I found really interesting. I also know that there were time periods, like I speaking to generations above me, that were like, oh yeah, my parents wouldn't let me watch Elvis on TV, and it's just really interesting to see how society has changed, and what we consider provocative today versus what we don't consider provocative anymore. It's just very, very, very interesting. So I'm looking forward to checking this performance. It's also a longer performance compared to the one that was on the Ed Sullivan Show. So let's get right into this. If you're new to the channel, my name's Jacob Restituto, and I'm a musician from Northport, New York. I have a whole bunch of music out there, like 135 songs. If you want to check that out, that'd be cool. If you're not new, thank you so much for coming back. Still want you to check out my music, but I appreciate it. Let's see what we got. Elvis Presley. Oh, it's so quiet.
Well, you just stand here. You get them. You understand? You'll get the whole thing. Now, everybody will stand in line, and I want... Hey, what are the Rich Brothers doing here? What are they doing? A young man, if you want an autograph, would you stand in the back there?
Well,
I don't care who you are. Everybody wants...
I'm Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley!
That's crazy. So I'm assuming this is part of a skit.
Give me the good old Rudy Valley days. Elvis, sing your hit song.
That's crazy, actually. It's pretty cool for a skit, actually. That was pretty cool.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie.
I had no idea this performance of Hound Dog was going to cause such a row. The critics jumped all over me for it.
Oh, this is interesting. I guess I don't know
still
what
can't
the
figure out
speaking
what
is.
got him so riled.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
See, that's interesting, actually. That's actually really interesting when they pan to the crowd right there. You see, the generation, this multi-generational in here. We have younger people, we have grandparents, we have parents, like this probably three generations I'm seeing between like maybe 20 and like 70. And what's interesting is the smile on everybody's face as opposed to like the horror, like the ghastly. And I find that really interesting because like if you like go through like mainstream media or stories, people were like appalled. And it's really interesting that here we're not seeing that. So is it a game of telephone? What is the case, Like they're laughing, which is interesting. And laughing, which is interesting. also love how choreographed it is. Like when the snare jump, his legs are, like it's well rehearsed, which I appreciate. Like he and the band, they know what they're doing, and they know that they've been playing together for a while, giving like that like cohesive full group sound. Also, this melody is so incredibly catchy. Like just in general, like that when you hear it, it's stuck in your head for like 3 days after. You can just tell he's just having fun, man. Even the band members are just having fun.
There is no room in this city for the vulgar performances of Elvis Presley.
It's shocking. I watched him gyrate his legs and swivel his hips. And our parent-teachers group feels he should not be on television.
It is so interesting to see, and that was what, 70 years ago, about, give or take, how much society has changed, just in general. From what we put on TV to what we don't. Like, if you turn on TV after 10 o'clock at night, and you can see some crazy things, and it's just interesting that society's definitely changed, and just how much it's changed, and what offended people, what didn't offend people, and I don't know. It's very, very, very interesting, and interesting how divisive it was. Just in general, I'd love to know your perspective. I learned so much from reading your comments in the last video. So thank you for the comments, and I appreciate them, and keep them coming. I love reading them and learning. So that's actually how I found this version of Hound Dog, through the comments. So thank you. I'll see you in the next video. I'd love to know your perspective. God bless and peace out.